Happy Wednesday. Got the mic working. Thank you for joining us here for the Raven Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. So definitely check us out. Draft day, April 23rd. Pre and post game draft will be on 7 o'clock, 7:30 before the game, before the draft, rather. We'll go ahead and check us out doing that. And we'll be on after the draft. The Ravens will have a draft pick. We'll be happy to go over that. Genesis Notary Services at Facebook.com. Definitely have been busy with notary appointments, so I want to thank all of you out here as well. Warming up with the weather, notary work is just going on, so I want to thank all of you in Winchester for supporting us in that. The flagship ravensports.company.site. Absolutely go ahead and check that out as well. Our website, definitely Orioles merchandise on there. We're working on getting those jerseys in for you. That Trey Hendrickson jersey. I know a lot of you are waiting on that. So we're going to go ahead and get that squared away. See Charles Harris. We are LegalShield.com. Definitely go to our Facebook page. Check that out. See Charles Harris. We are Legal Shield. Definitely, if you definitely do that. Will, testament, last will and testament, legal issues. I call them all the time for my business and in my family as well. So absolutely check that out. Let's get right to it. The draft. So this mock draft, this is our third one here as well. So this is mock draft 3.0. Little different in this draft here today. So more in this draft, I thought was restricted. This is usually where I've said in years past, okay, where there are smoke screens in this draft, where there's a lot of smoke. How are you? There's a lot of smoke in the draft. This year, I don't hear as much smoke. And I think you don't hear as much smoke is because I think there's more indecision in the draft process and everything that's going on. So I think that's a real thing as well. And in this mock draft, this is much less of what I would do. This is just kind of what I've heard and everything. I'm good. There you go. All right. And this is less of what I do and less of what I would do and more of what we see here as well. So let's go ahead and get it rolling. All right. So let's go ahead and get you squared away. Obviously, we know the number one pick, Fernando Mendoza for Indiana, won the Heisman Trophy. I don't think there's any question about it. We've already talked about it as well. Very recent, Clint Kubiak, I think, took the job in Las Vegas, was to work with Fernando Mendoza. I think that's a done deal. So see if it works. We'll see if it works. I think that's the thing. They did go ahead and get Tyler Linderbaum. That's going to be helpful to him, having a center helping a rookie quarterback making those line calls. So that's pretty good. Arvell Reese, I was kind of hesitating putting him there, even though I've seen it a lot. I'm seeing it all the time with Arvell Reese going to the Jets. He might be the best defensive player on the board. I don't have him that high. I think it's pretty close with Arvell Reese, Caleb Downs, and Ruben Bain. I think it's very, very close in that. Sonny Styles, I think, is a little bit behind them. But Reese, I think, best player on the board at the time. I'm not sure Aaron Glenn knows how to use him. We'll see how good of a coach Aaron Glenn is actually getting Arvell Reese. It makes a lot of sense to have him there, but Arvell Reese. Malioga still for the Cardinals. I think this is too obvious. Malioga, I think, is a 10-year starter at left tackle. Plug him in, play him in. Look, you have a quarterback issue. You have Jacoby Brissett now at quarterback as well. I'm here. There you go. Me too. I'll subscribe once I'm done here. All right, so definitely Malioga at guard, Malioga at tackle. I think you could put him at 10 years at tackle. Jeremiah Love, that's a real thing in the Tennessee. Definitely too. How do you help a young quarterback, get him a running back? I think Love is a top 5 talent. Interesting to see if they take a running back this high. I'm still thinking looks like the way it's trending as well. I don't think you'll take the defensive players. I think this is a guy that probably, if you want to help Cam Ward the most, this is the guy I think you want. Jeremiah Love here at number 4. Sonny Styles, number 5 for the Giants. John Harbaugh would absolutely love to take an inside linebacker. The Giants have a better roster than what people realize. You have a quarterback. You probably have a running back. You still ahead. You got a fullback. You got Likely at tight end. Your offensive line is decent. I don't think you need line help. You got Ed Rush ends on there. So you're probably looking at that other stuff. Safety, inside linebacker, maybe one of the receivers. To me, this is a little high for the receivers. So I think Sonny Styles, is one of the best defensive players on the board as well. Sonny Styles is at number 5. Number 6, big jump, Monroe Freeling. I'm seeing it over and over and over. And I'm not totally shocked. Definitely a guy, pure left tackle. This is what I want, pure left tackle. So teams are always looking for a guy that's pure left tackle on the board. You get him on Monroe Freeling. Absolutely, he's a guy that you want to play at left tackle. So Spencer Fenno is kind of, I think, slipping a little bit because he's like more of a right tackle. You could kick him in the guard. This is the guy to protect the blind side for, I think, it's going to be Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland. Todd Monken, an offensive coach, is there. So I definitely think this is a possibility as well. The one of receivers here, they could do that too. Carnell Tate, if they like Carnell Tate, you could see it here, but I think it's Freeling here early. David Bailey for the Commanders. Bailey, I think, I think he's plug and play as well. Bailey, I think, is probably can fit better on any team as well. So I think I like Bain a little bit better, but I do think Bailey on the Commanders, that outside fit into that 3-4 defense that they have. I think Bailey, is a better fit, easier fit right away. Saints love to have Ruben Bain at 7. Definitely too. Longtime contributor for them. Cam Jordan, longtime defensive end, no longer there. They got to replenish that. Bain, I think, is the best player in the draft. I think absolutely some concern about short arms, etc. Other than that, this guy's a monster. I think this guy has Michael McCrary like energy in that. Never gets tired when I see him play. Never gets tired. Relentless. Sack totals, double-digit sacks. You can plug it in. So great pickup for the Saints here at 8. Mansour Delane, best cornerback in the draft as well. I think they badly need corner here. I think that's 911. I think certainly if Bain or Bailey were still here, they definitely would be in the market for that, because I definitely think they could use a player like that. But I think this is pretty easy you lose Trent McDuffie, you lose Jalen Watson. Delane probably maybe a little bit higher than some people have him, but I definitely think this is the choice for right now for the Chiefs. Caleb Downs, not having to go very far, played at Ohio State, playing for the Bengals. Bengals need anything on defense, right? You lose Trey Hendrickson. I think maybe you're happy with one of the pass rusher. Downs, I think, is one of the 3 best defensive players, maybe one of the best players in the entire draft as well. I think there's nothing wrong with this at all. I think he's too good to pass up. Too good to pass up. Certainly Ohio State fans will like the fact that he's in Cincinnati as well. So I think getting a Caleb Downs, I think, is an excellent pickup for the Bengals here at 10. 11. Jamal McCoy of the Dolphins. think this is probably the number one need. I think I did this a lot. This is probably the number one need. Now, the Dolphins is hard to tell because they have a lot of needs because they pretty much gutted a lot of things. But getting McCoy here, I think is a good move. Definitely, too. I think McCoy has top 5 talent. I think because he had an injury, I think that slid him back a little bit as well. So I do think that's a thing. But I think McCoy is outstanding. Like all 3 of these corners here, high Terrell, McCoy, and Delane are excellent. I think Delane, is the best combination. McCoy, I think, is the has the strength, best at the line, man to man, and I think Terrell here at 13 for the Cowboys, I think is the speed. Jerry Jones, kind of like Al Davis in the sense, loves that speed, loves those guys with those quicks. So I definitely do that. I would say Terrell did get hurt at the workout yesterday. So from what I could tell, it was minor. His stop may drop. We'll see how that goes. But I didn't drop him too much because of that, even though I know that there was an injury yesterday. Oh, he got hurt a little bit at the workout. He didn't finish the workout. I don't think it'll hurt him a whole lot in terms of his stock here. Rams, Carnell Tate, too good to pass up. Too good to pass up. They're going to keep Devontae Adams. They still have Puka Nacua. They're interesting to see how that contract goes. But Carnell Tate, I think, is just too good to pass up when he's there. Tate, I do believe that's – I do believe, I think a lot of the league thinks that he's the number 1 wide receiver on the board. So I do think that – and well, I like Mekhi Lemon, but I do think most teams have Tate higher, played at a bigger school, had more production, etc. And definitely a situation at the Ram. Hey, look, Matthew Stafford's there. Devontae Adams is there. Offensive team Super Bowl effective. He wouldn't have to do too much right away. Begaloni, I have him still for the Ravens. Look, I know you signed John Simpson. You still have to work on the line. And I know they feel good about Emory Jones. You have to do something on the line. You have to do something on the line. You have to do something on the line. You have to do something. I think how many times I need to say it. What happened is not going to get it last year. Andrew Voorhees is still here. Obviously, Daniel Falele is gone. Tyler Linderbaum is gone. I think he's one of one. I don't think you find a guy interior this good for a while. So it's going to be hard for them to pass up as well, especially after getting Trey Hendrickson, the other big need on the other side. So that could be happening. So I still have that's third time I mocked him to the Ravens. Cassius Howell for the Bucks. Any team could use good edge rush. I think this guy's kind of being slept on. Not quite as good as the elite guys. I think in a lot of drafts, he would be the number 1 guy, though. He's really, really good. Good production, good 3-4. Not as explosive as Bailey is. Not quite. But I think he's a little bit stronger. Definitely, I think the Bucks definitely could use – they need help on defense, for sure. They have good offensive players. I think definitely biggest need for them, I think, is the edge rush. Definitely, I think that's the thing they got to do as well. Jordan Tyson for the Jets, number 16. I think it could be Mekhi Lemon if they like him. I think the wide receiver, I think it could be the move here. I definitely do think they have to go out and help Geno Smith. I don't know what the Jets are quite doing, frankly. They go out and sign Geno Smith. I guess and I think a lot of it, honestly, is because a lot of guys didn't want to go. Derek Carr, rumor out there, he didn't want to sign there. Kyler Murray didn't want to even talk to him. I think like going wide receiver wouldn't hurt him. I think Lemon, I think, again, around the league, I think more with him, Jordan Tyson as well. I think there's a lot of interest in him around the league. Caden Proctor for the Lions. Lions are another team. Absolutely. A couple years ago, I was saying Lions, best offensive line in the league. Now down a little bit, not what they were. Caden Proctor, a stud. Caden Proctor, I think, is a guy. Body type is going to hurt him. I think some teams just and it's kind of almost weird to say with offensive line because he's a really big guy. But I think definitely to last of the elite guys, if you really want an elite guy as well. Harrison Smith, after a long career, doesn't look like he's going to be back in Minnesota. Dylan Thiemann is definitely a guy they definitely need as well. So that's absolutely something that they have to do as well in Minnesota. This guy's moving up boards. I think he's really, really good. This guy's definitely a starter, stud, tremendous speed on the back end. So this is the guy, this is the ball hawk. So you got a guy like Caleb Downs, who's an all-around guy. This is a ball hawk. So he's more like Kyle Hamilton, that's Caleb Downs, Dylan Thiemann, this is Ed Reed. Like, just to make the comparison. Tremendous speed in general. One thing they've done in Carolina is take the ball out of Bryce Young's hands, running more, throwing more to his backs and tight ends. Why not get the best tight end, I think, in the draft, Keon Sadiq from Oregon? Not a lot of great tight ends in the draft. So this is kind of a situation where if you want to do that, you don't really want to pass here. You want to go ahead and get that. They want to got Terry McMillan in the last draft as well. They did let Rico Dowd go. So we'll see. But Carolina, look, keep it simple for Bryce Young. This makes all the sense to go ahead and take a tight end early. Colton Hood for the Tennessee from Tennessee Volunteers to the Cowboys. Hood, I think, is moving up boards. Did have an injury, kind of the same on the other side. That's probably the only reason why he's not as high, maybe as fast as anybody in the draft. He could move up higher depending on what happens with Terrell. But I think getting Colton Hood, I think it's a great choice. Dallas, defensive help. That's absolutely what they need as well. Getting rid of Diggs, Micah Parsons, etc. They have to go ahead and replenish that defense while Brack is still there as well. I'm sorry. Ty Simpson for the Squealers. Driving to the top doesn't think so. I kind of think they're looking at it. I think you have to look at it if he's there. Ty Simpson, a lot of Steel fans want Will Howard there. I kind of am more of the belief that it's in play. I don't think they're as convinced of Will Howard as a lot of fans seem to be. So I do think they're going to look at a quarterback. The thing is can you convince Aaron to go along with this? That's the thing, because for sure you want Aaron to come back. Can you convince Aaron to come along if you go ahead and draft a quarterback? That's the thing. So that's the bigger concern. 22 Jordan Tyson, that's wrong, obviously. Mekhi Lemon for the Chargers. So the Chargers definitely Mekhi Lemon is the fastest wide receiver in the draft. My favorite wide receiver in the draft. Mekhi Lemon, tremendous speed on the outside, tremendous. Look, you got a Lad McConkey that's going to kill you in the slot, kill you in the hashes. You want to go ahead, you want to send the ball deep to the 9 route. That's a guy you get Mekhi Lemon, number 9, number 22 for the Chargers. Caleb Lamu for the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles, like the Lions a couple years ago, you could say, wow, what a great offensive line they had. Now they've had some age, they've had some injuries. Guys, they've had to convince to come out of retirement. So we'll see. They definitely need to build that up. Lamu, I think you have him here as tackle. I think you could easily put him at guard if you need to for a year. I think they do need at least one lineman on the line as well, and build that back up. I think some of the issues they had last year, quietly, they were a little bit more, the line wasn't what it was. So I do think, and this is the way the Eagles draft. Offensive line, defensive line. They do that a lot. This is kind of, when in doubt, this is the route they go. Omar Cooper for the Browns. The Browns absolutely need a wide receiver. Absolutely need a wide receiver. So part of the problem when nothing helps a young quarterback as well as much as a wide receiver, Omar Cooper is moving up a lot of draft boards. So he's been very impressive in terms of in the post-draft process. I think he's kind of stuck his way into the first round. I think Cooper, I think, is a good choice as well. Good, solid, all-around guy as well. These other, kind of like Jordan Tyson a little bit, I don't think he's quite as good of a route runner as Jordan Tyson, but I think he's definitely there. I'm really curious to see how a lot of these Indiana guys do in the NFL. Really curious to actually see that. Kalen Caden McDonald for Ohio State, number 1 tackle on the board. Bears, definitely, that's their biggest need. So Bears have built a really good team. They definitely have a quarterback, wide receivers. Even though they traded DJ Moore, they have offensive line, edge rush, tackle, I think, is the biggest need. And I think they absolutely take the number 1 tackle on the board. Good, solid 3 technique, 4-3 guy. Absolutely as well. Couple more. Messador. Outstanding. I saw this guy is uber impressive. Those defensive ends Miami had last year was probably the biggest reason they had. I think the main reason he's lower is because of the fact main reason he dropped was because of his age. I think he's going to be 25, so I think that's a real thing. I think teams are looking at that now with colleges having guys 5-6 year training, Chandler's going back, etc. So I think that's hurting him a bit. This guy's stud. This guy, he's going to start right away. That's the good news. You got to draft a guy. He's older. He's going to start right away. Blake Miller for Clemson. Definitely is another team. Age is kind of creeping up on the offensive line. Here's a guy easing into the first round. Blake Miller of Clemson. There's another school where those guys were kind of being slept on as well because the production on the field as far as wins and losses wasn't well. But Blake Miller has been very good through the pre-draft process. He's a guy I think he's definitely creeping up. Lee Hunter for the Texans from Texas Tech. So he's a guy, certainly I'm sure they've seen him as well. I think this probably too. I think this is probably it as far as for sure first rounders. Lee Hunter, Texas Tech, along with Kate McDonald. Caleb Banks had an injury, so I don't think he's going to go that high. Somebody might take him. Dolphins or something like that, maybe 2 first-round picks. But I think if that's it. Chefs with 2 first-round picks. They take Parker on the edge. So they have first-round pick. They take the biggest need. They take the corner, and I do think they take an edge here. Parker. Little bit more of a roll of the dice with Parker, I think. Talented, but he was productive like the year before. Then last year, maybe he was injured, et cetera, et cetera. We'll see. A little bit of a roll of the dice. Athletic talent off the board, off the chart. No reason athletically why this guy couldn't be a 10-sack guy. Denzel Boston for the Dolphins. Again, kind of the same on the other side with Denzel Boston. Athletic tools are all there, even the size. If you were to, this was drafted in 1998. Denzel Boston would be much higher on the board because he has the size, he has the physicality, and he has good speed. I think he has it all put together. I think he's still a little green in his route running and everything like that from what I've seen of him. Physically, he's all there, but we will see with that. Dolphins definitely need a receiver for sure. Kedrick Falk of the Pats. I think he slips a little bit. I'm not as high on him. I just need to see production from edge rushers as well. But I certainly think this is a fantastic place for him in New England. I think definitely too you're getting with Mike Vrabel, great defensive coach. Doesn't have to come in, good defensive system. They're good at developing players. I definitely think it's a good idea. Jaden Price, I think from Notre Dame. I think this guy, is really being slept on. I think definitely too he's a starter for 10 years. Seahawks have to do it. Have to do it, letting Kenneth Walker run out the board. They haven't had a lot of luck with wide receiver, with running backs being healthy. I think getting Price, is a great pick here as well. First round. There you go. So first round of the NFL draft. Ravens, the rest of the league as well, changing a bit. There's a lot of uncertainty. That's why I'm not hearing as many smoke screens and all that, etc. There's a lot of uncertainty at the draft as well. Let's take a look at our squad. The Baltimore Ravens. All right, so what do the Ravens intend to do in the 2026 draft? The Max Crosby thing is in the past now for sure. They are going to have a pick in the first round, about 10 picks. Let's see how this goes for the Ravens. We already talked about it. Ola Vega Aloni as well. I think this is 9-1-1. I think he'll be there, and I think he will help, and I think he will start right away. This guy's tremendous athlete. That's going to help the Ravens as well. Second round, Derek Moore, edge from Michigan. Boy Mafe, who just signed with the Bengals, played last year with Seattle. Bit of a ceiling on him, I think, because he's in the second round. Perfect fit, played with Jesse Minter, understands the offense, was a player, played at Michigan when Jesse Minter was there as a D coordinator a couple years ago, understands exactly who he could come in. I don't think he's got boom speed. That's why he's not in the first round, but absolutely productive, played a lot as well. I think this is absolutely a great pick. Certainly, too, you bring in a Derek Moore, you can absolutely have him push Mike Green for that other spot and really help your pass rush on the other side. Boy, Mafe kind of is what I'm thinking. About 8 sacks production, a guy like that. Definitely, I think a solid pick first round. Definitely guy. Jesse Milner absolutely knows what he's getting as well. Logan Jones, center. So I don't think the Ravens had the luxury of going past here and taking a center. I think they have to do it in the first 3 rounds. So Logan Jones from Iowa, there's about 4 or 5 that are out there. Logan Jones, I think he's a little bit older. 25, I think that's a bit of a concern as well. But I think he's going to get a chance to play early. Garrett Bradbury is kind of the comp that I saw the most with him as well. Just a good, solid inside center. I think he could be a day one starter for you. So it'd be good value getting a guy in the 3rd round as well. 3rd round is about right. 2nd, 3rd for a lot of these centers. Ravens barely need a center losing Tyler Linderbaum. Michael Trigg, we talked about him before in the last mock draft. I think he's a lot like Isaiah Likely. Blocking is not he's got to work on that. But definitely too, he's got to work on the blocking, but definitely too, ultimate ace-back. This is a guy, like if you have a Mark Andrews, he can use a lot of the same things that Isaiah Likely did. Definitely catch the ball out of the backfield, catch the ball in the short area, good speed. That's what I like about him. Blocking out, yeah, he's not going to. This not. You got to get somebody else to help him do that. But I think he can work on it as well. But very similar to Isaiah Likely. That's why I like Trigg. Probably like 4th round. Now here's a guy more complete back, Jack Adrees for Texas as well. Tyler Higbee of the Rams is a little high end, but I think that's about right. Good, solid, productive tight end for years and years. That's what you're going to get. Not blazing speed, good blocker in the area, good pass catching, great hands, runs over people like that. Where Trigg is going to be the guy to blow by him. This guy is going to go ahead and do that. I think you could put him in a Charlie Kolar like role, just a blocker, Nick Bull, but I think he could be more than that, catching the football. Really talented there. I think he could be a starter in the league as well. Tyler Higbee type skills. Jacob Thomas from the U, as they put it. Swiss Army knife all over the place. That's what it is as well. So this isn't a guy that's a little smallish. I think that's why he's going a little later as well. But he's a guy, you can put him at the line of scrimmage. You can put him at corner. You can put him at the nickel. You can put him at different things like the Funga, and he hits very well. Like this. He's not one of these guys that's going to shy away from contact. He's going to create contact as well. Definitely you think – I'm almost positive Ravens like to take safeties. You're going to take one later here. I don't think you're going to need one early, but definitely, too, you sign Hawkins to free agency. You get a Funga. I think that's a high end. He has starter potential at some point. You Terp fans should be familiar with this guy, Jalen Husky, 5th-round pick, 172, Maryland. Maryland's – if you didn't know, Maryland was one of the best teams in college football in terms of taking the ball away. The Ravens certainly want to get back to that. So you get a guy like Jalen Husky, cornerback and safety. Seen him on the cornerback list and on safety. Did both in Maryland. He's not either one. Kind of like Brian Branch was a few years ago. Whatever team drafts him and whatever they need, that's where he'll play. He's for sure a guy that's going to go ahead and take the ball away. More Tre'Davious Ward if you put him in corner for sure, because he's got that physicality. He's gonna definitely too. He's gonna be a guy if you put him at the nickel spot, he's just gonna bang up on that wide receiver. That's for sure what he's gonna do. So Husky, I think, is an excellent choice as well in the 5th round as well. Couple more. Trey Holly had him in the last mock draft. Certainly, look, you want to replace Keaton Mitchell with this blazing speed. Look at the tape. It was my pleasure to watch this guy. Just uber fast. Didn't play as much at LSU. I think it was LSU. We played at Southern. He just killed everybody because he's got that blazing speed. Super fast guy as well. Keaton Mitchell, definitely you could put him in there. So you have Derrick Henry. You have Justice Hill. If you want to replace what you had with Keaton Mitchell, you draft a guy like Cade Holly. Cade, well, I think this was the best offensive kick returner in the NFL last year, without the question. So I definitely think he's a guy that for sure is one of the best offensive best kick return guys in the entire NFL. One of the best kick return guys in the NFL for sure. Tremendous speed on the outside. There we go. Tremendous speed on the outside. Twitter, I don't know what happened there. Twitter for a second. Tremendous speed on the outside. Scotty Miller, I think, is a name that it's a good comp, but he's going to push Levante Wester, I think, on the kick return side. But I think he has a chance to be a real slot receiver in the NFL. No question about it. And also, too, they're going to have to take a punter. You lost Jordan Stout. Ryan Eckley, I think, is for sure going to get a look late as well. Numbers-wise, he was as good as anybody in college. Not the boomer as far as the ball, as far as that goes, but numbers-wise, as good as anybody in college last year, I think, as well. Michael Dickerson of the Seahawks is the comp. There you go. There's your draft. So Ravens, look, offensive line, you got to do it. I don't want to hear it. Punter, you're going to have to do it at some point. You're certainly going to help your special team, but offensive line, I don't see how you not do it early. You're going to have to, because these guys you're going to need guys that's going to have to start and contribute right away as well. All right. Okay. So Final Four weekend is here. There's a lot going on right now. We'll get to baseball later. Final Four is going on right now. First of all, shout out to these Huskies winning the shot. That was fantastic in this last game against Duke. This is going to go down as one of the all-time great games, the Final 8 game. Huskies, I think, deserve to be here as well. Much better behaved from Dan Hurley. I thought maybe because the team was winning more, but the behavior is much better. Going against the Fighting Illini in this game. Illini probably the lowest seed. Kitten Wagner, one of the best freshmen, I think, in the country. Certainly a guy who's going to play at the next level. 17.9 rebounds, five rebounds, and 4.3 assists. Their starting 5 in Illinois is terrific. We're going to talk about 3. Peja Stojakovic's son, Andrei Stojakovic. He's his dad. Or enough of them. Not maybe at that level yet. We'll see. But that's the type of player that you're getting. 13.6 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 1 assist. I think he's an outstanding shooter. He's not as consistent as I like to see, though, as well. He's not as ball dominant. He kind of lays in the background. The guy who has been getting it done here lately is David Merkovich. 13.5 points, 8.1 total. These are his averages for the season. Fantastic stuff from him as well. Illinois, I'm surprised. The Big Ten was really, really good. The sending 2 teams they had, Purdue and Iowa, in the Final 8 as well, along with the 2 teams that are here. I think this starting 5 is fantastic. On the other side, it's really good as well. Alex Caravan, 13.4, 5.2 assists as well. These are the 3 leading scorers. Travis Reed had an outstanding Had an outstanding stretch here. 14.3 points a game, 8.2 assists as well. One second. 14.2 points a game. They shoot the ball well. I think they really hustle as hard. I don't know if this team's as talented as they've had. Silas and Murray for UConn, 10.4 a game. Good front court play as well. And I would be remiss in not mentioning Braylon Mullins with the jumper at the end. So that was gangster. I mean, that was unbelievable against Duke as well. And that's the first game in Indianapolis on Sunday at Lucas Oil, on Saturday at Lucas Oil Stadium. I think this, with all due respect to the other two, this looks like the real national championship. I don't imagine that they're going to lose. Whoever it is going to lose to these two teams. The Wolverines and the Wildcats in this one, 35-3, 35-2. I thought these were the two best teams in college basketball during the course of the year. They're in the same side of the bracket. This is going to be fantastic. I think these are two teams. Arizona, I love their defensive energy. Brayden Burry's clearly a guy. He's a lottery pick into consideration. 16.4 points a game, 4.9 rebounds, 2.5 assists. This guy plays defense. I'm going to say it one more time because everybody's focusing on his offense and talks about how he gets stops and feeds off his offense. A lot like Scottie Pippen, a lot like Michael Cooper. That's what I see a lot of when I see Burries. Burries, I think, is the goods for real. Hasn't been as good during the course of the season as Jaden Bradley. 13.5 points a game, 3.5, 4.4 assists. Outstanding stuff from him. I think he's a stud, too. I think not as talked about as these freshmen that are going to the league, but he's very good. Kavakis, I'm going to say his name right, as well. This is the size that they have. 8.5 points, rebound, 8.2 rebounds a game, 10.4 assists. 10.4 2 points a game, 8.2 rebounds, 1.1 assists a game. Outstanding stuff. This guy is this is the muscle up front to let those guards do their thing in the back court as well. Luxembourg, I think, is the guy, the reason Dustin May on the other side, the head coach. I think he's one of the best coaches in college basketball. I think NBA is going to come calling for Dustin May at some point if he wants it. Jaden Lundenberg, I think he's the reason why the Wolverines, the biggest reason when he transferred in, why they were able to turn themselves around. 14.5 points a game, about 6'9", great length, plays like a guard. Durant-like talent. If you haven't seen him as well, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. He's fantastic. Morris Johnson, 3.5, 13.4, 7.3 as well. The Wolverines are very impressive with their length. Andy Mara as well at center. Teams they don't have, most teams do not have as skilled bigs as they've had. This is why they won so many games. In the backcourt, Elliot Kondo is really, really good. I think he's probably one of the better players in all college basketball as well at the guard position. 5.5 assists, 5.7 assists. Who do I like? I do like Michigan in this game. I do like Arizona. I just love their defense as well. They're going to have a hard time against a team with all this size as well. They didn't look good in the first half against Purdue, and they just totally turned it on. They can score. The defense turns up, and they can do it as well. First game, I like UConn over Illinois. Illinois, I think, this is it for them. I think UConn, is definitely – they're so good in these close games. Dan Hurley has his team so well prepared in these close games. So it's interesting to see how they do here as well. Saturday, 6 o'clock, the Final Four. Definitely go ahead and check it out. I'll be checking it out. TBS. Keep that in mind. Not CBS like it's been for 1,000 years. Got the partnership. So definitely check that out. NBA real quick this week. It kind of got hijacked. My NBA segment by last week by Whitlock and Stephen A. That stuff. So NBA championship bubble. How does it look here? Even did a graphic. The championship bubble. Only so many teams are going to win a title, right? Only so many teams are actually going to win the NBA title, obviously. So who are the teams capable of it as well? So we're going to look at the teams. The first 4 teams in each conference, I think, are capable. After that, I don't. It's spoiler time. The Heat, I think just Heat culture. You call me whatever you want. I believe in Eric Spoelstra to actually get his team to the playoffs. They do have a guy, Bam Adebayo, having a career season, not just that 83-point game where he's been outstanding. It doesn't seem like the circumstances ever bother them. Now they aren't 5th in the conference. They may have to win a play-in situation, but the Heat are fantastic. I'm not. The Heat, I think, are definitely going to win at least one round, or at least get to the play and get through the play-in as well. 3 and 4, the Cavs and the Knicks. I don't think either one of those teams is a championship level. They are good teams. The Knicks, I think, are a little closer, obviously, because they went to the conference finals last year. So I definitely think you look at that for sure. I'm just not a believer. I think getting rid of Thibodeau, it's harder for me to buy that. I think same with the Cavs, bringing James Harden in. I just don't know. I think they're going to win some games in the regular season. They might win a round, possible, but they're there. Pistons are number 2, only for no other reason except the Celtics have been here before. Pistons are really, really good. Very impressive. Beating the Lakers the other night. The Lakers had won like 9 in a row. So they're right there. Even with the Cade Cunningham injury, they're still rolling right along. Very impressive. It's harder for me to go against the Celtics, though. Much as I don't like Celtics. It's harder for me not to say, with Jason Tatum coming back, working himself into shape, going ahead and getting to play, I'm having a hard time not taking the Celtics. Number 1 in the West. Number 1 in the East. In the West, I think it's all 5 of these teams can get there, I think. Timberwolves, Lakers, Nuggets, Spurs, Thunder in that order. T-Wolves, I have them behind the Lakers a little bit. The Lakers I'm starting to buy. The Ant-Man Edwards, I think, is one of the best offensive players in the league. I think that we all can agree on that. So the Michael Jordan stuff, that's a bit much. But as well, defensively, they're not quite as good. That's why I think they're back and they're not as consistent. And he's not a guy all the time that gets you uber ton of. So it's a little, I understand that. Luka Doncic is on. There's no stopping him. He's unstoppable. I mean, I think 33 points a game, that's just insane. There's no question about it. LeBron seems to embrace the role of the dad, the secondary role on there. It looks like he was a guy saving his legs for the playoff time. The 3 top teams are the teams for sure. Nuggets, I'm still a believer. Nikola Jokic is having a phenomenal season that nobody's talking about. So he's been fantastic for them. The Spurs, we know, they beat the Thunder several times. So the Spurs are really good. Wemby's making his bid for MVP. I don't think he's MVP as well. But the Thunder, it's funny. I think everybody's just bored with the Thunder. Like already, as good as they've been, Thunder, I think, is number 1. So I like right now, and we'll do NBA awards next week, but I definitely to Celtics Thunder in the finals as well. I don't know if the Pistons are going to beat them. Conference finals, Spurs and the Thunder right now. Spurs are really, really tempting to take. Really tempting to take. But we got to see what the lights on. We got to see what the lights on. And I mean, playoffs and all that. If Popovich was still there, I might feel a little different as well. That's the other thing, too, young coach. So there you go. NBA championship bubble. All right. Moving right along. Top 10 managers in the MLB. So I think this would be interesting to see who are the best managers in Major League Baseball as well. This is important, I think, in this sport. I think managers in baseball, to me, play a bigger role than they do, I think, in almost any other sport. I think like that. Some people would say football. I don't think so. I think manager, you got a bad manager in baseball, you got a problem. Like that's just doing stuff, and it's so it's so important to have that as well. There you go. Top 10 managers in MLB, and then we'll get to the Orioles as well. If I have a second, Tiger Woods, definitely check out the blog, Ravery Sports. Ravery Sports blog. So definitely put in Blogspot, Ravery Sports. I talked about Tiger Woods yesterday. Tragic what's going on. And not for him. Like, there's no bigger stars in the world. Like, he was on that level, man. Babe Ruth, and Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, and the latest one was Tiger Woods, the biggest famous American athlete in the world. And to see what's happened to him, it's just sad. It's just really sad to me to see a guy go through that. All right. Did want to mention that. I didn't want to forget Tiger Woods. All right. Top 10 managers in MLB. Here we go. Steve Voigt of the Guardians. I think it was harder for me to rank him last year because he hasn't been a manager that long. So as well. But him as a player and him as a manager, you see, kind of like, to me, similar, not that long off the field. Definitely to player that they don't have anymore, scrap player, knew everything, knows all the guys, has the respect of guys despite of it as well. Guardians have been really good comeback at the end of last year as well. I got no problem. I like his energy. All right. I like his energy. I think players would play for him, get the best for him. Voigt, I have him number 10. Number 9, Terry Francona. Why not Terry Francona? Francona's been doing this, it seems like, forever, like, as a manager. So definitely 2 as well. Hasn't really turned around the Reds quite yet. So I think that's a thing. But I definitely hasn't turned around the Reds quite yet. This is a guy that's bona fide as a manager. What's his record as a manager? Yeah, 2 World Series, 3 pennants as a manager. Won over 2,000 games. Bona fide. No question about it. Terry Francona. People keep hiring him for a reason. I think probably one of the most experienced managers now. So kind of trending the other way now with managers with a little less experience. Terry Francona, I think, is number 9. Number 8, Craig Counsell. I slipped him a bit. I'm not as big a believer in him as I was the year before. That's kind of because of last year with the Cubs. They just didn't play as well to me as they had. Known for being good on the margins. I definitely think that, more with less. So, but now you got more, and now I got to see more from you as well. You're in Chicago. You're not in Milwaukee anymore. You went ahead and go out. What do you got? Let's see it as well. Definitely still putting him in the top 10 because of everything he did to go ahead and in Milwaukee all those years as well. Cubs are a good team, so it's not like, I could drop them that far. But I got Counsell at number 8. Still a really good manager. Pat Murphy, he's the guy. He's behind him, and I had to put Murphy ahead of Counsell because of what's been going on. So here's a Murphy. Look, this is a guy you could find managers. Some people think you could find managers from anywhere. 67 years old. This guy. Nobody really thought he would be a manager at his age, and all he's done is take the Brewers to the division title last year. So he's been really good as a manager. I think you got to put him in the top 10 as well. This is what was his name? The name is escaping. The guy in Major League, like Tony Brown. Yeah, like that's it. Forever in the minors, whatever, came from nowhere, finally gets a shot. He knows what to do. He's not nervous any day. He's on the mound. Pat Murphy, the Brewers, has a good team. Number 7, Aaron Boone. Always going to be people questioning Aaron Boone because of the fact that he's in the Yankees. Yeah, you're good because you got Aaron Judge. Yeah, you're good because of that. Aaron Boone, I think, is a solid manager. I think that's it. Managing talent can be tough. Managing people with a good resume can be tough. And I think it is. I think Boone, has done a solid job. He doesn't do too much there. I like that. I think he's not uber analytical. He's not a guy that's trying to argue with the umps and all that other stuff. Gets the job done. Make sure he wins games. I think number 6, AJ Hinch. Again, I know somebody's going to boo this, like AJ Hinch, because of what he got, because of all the issues he's had as the Astros manager. But look, outside of the last few weeks in Detroit, he's been really good. This guy wins wherever he goes. So that's the thing. Every time he's had the manager hat on, he's won. His teams have won. His teams are in contention. That's not an accident if a guy continues to do that as well. So AJ Hinch, I have him at number 5. Number 4, John Schneider. I thought it was so impressive in the World Series, and I know his team didn't win, but I still was impressed with all the stuff that John Schneider did. That's exactly the way sports is supposed to work. Good side here, good side here. The Dodgers were just a hair better. I thought the stuff he did was outstanding. I thought his moves that he made were great. He just didn't have the talent as well. But John Schneider was very impressive, very calm. And I just, again, doesn't go nuts with the analytics all the time. Goes with gut sometimes. Goes with, I do like that in a manager. So John Schneider, I definitely have him number 4. Number 3, Torey Lovato. Not good last year, the Diamondbacks, but I still like Torey Lovato as a manager. I think he's a guy that's going to get the most out of the league. Same with him in number 2. Doesn't have a whole lot, but he's going to get the most out of it. Doesn't have all the resources in the world. Again, his teams usually find a way to win. So he hasn't had world championship yet, but I think that's part of why part of why he's such a good manager. He's actually had a chance to go ahead and do more with less. Kevin Cash, I think, is the poster child for more with less. You talk about liking Craig Counsell, Torey Lovato, more with less. Again, not good last year. He will turn the Rays around as well. Very similar to the guy he replaced, Joe Madden, as well. Kevin Cash, I love him as a manager as well. Every day he needs to be good as well. Hasn't got a world title, but Dave Roberts, let me tell you something. Dave Roberts, I got to admit, I was more impressed now with Dave Roberts. Easy to say, yeah, he's got all the talent. Yeah, he's got all these things. Yeah, this guy's Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich. The moves he made during the series were masterclass. Just masterclass. It was fantastic as well. Understated, doesn't get credit for years because he's got a great team. This guy is phenomenal. They're not winning in spite of Dave Roberts. They're winning because Dave Roberts is a phenomenal manager as well. Take your place, Dave Roberts. There you go. Number 1. All right. So we got that in. Those are the top 10 managers. That's the last of our series as well, now that the season is on. So we got that in as well. So those are the top 10 managers in the MLB. I think Dave Roberts' time is here. I got no problem putting him there. He has been phenomenal as well as one of the best. I think he's the number 1 manager in the game. Certainly, that's why it's so hard to beat the Dodgers, because not only do you have that great talent, you got Dave Roberts there, who is fantastic as well. Next week, our full first Orioles report, but let's go ahead and recap the opener as well. That was last week. Orioles now 3-3. We did win the opening day. Adley Rutschman was 2 of 4. Well, let's go ahead. As a matter of fact, let's not even start. Let's do what we're supposed to do. Start with the road team. Brian Buxton. Definitely, I think he's clearly their best player. 1 for 4 in the game. Has some good defensive stuff in that as well with the 1 hit. but not a lot of offense because the pitching on both sides was really good, especially the Orioles, which is why they were the 2-1 winners in this thing. Luke Kershaw as well. I think probably he's the second best guy. But again, it didn't hit much. I think he decided it. I think Trevor Rogers really shut him down on both sides as well. They're going to need him during the course of the year. He had 1 RBI in this game. He had the lone RBI in this game as well. So definitely as well. Joe Ryan. So there's no Lopez there. Pablo Lopez injury all year. They're going to need Joe Ryan. He was decent. I mean, 5.1. You don't really run guys this early in the season late in games. You don't really want to do that. So that's about as good as you're going to get for an opening day situation. 5.1, not 5.1, 5 1/3 innings and 7 Ks for him as well. Adley, I think, was their best offensive player. So Adley's getting time behind the plate. Adley's getting behind the plate. So even with Basayo here, Adley is definitely getting those starts. So shout out to Adley Rushman as well. Had a decent start here as well. 2 for 4 in this one. Pete Alonso didn't get his first hit in this game as well, but we're all looking at Pete Alonso. He hit his first home run. It was like last night for the Orioles as well. So I think I definitely think this is a slam dunk acquisition here for Pete Alonso as well. Some people, you can question the glove. Who cares? If he's getting 40 home runs, 35 home runs, stabilizing the middle of the order, hitting third. I don't think he's ever done that. I don't remember that in New York where he hitting third. So a lot of confidence in him. Let him hit wherever he wants as well. Gunnar is sitting second. Taylor Ward's leading off for now without Jackson Holiday. And Pete Alonso's hitting third as well. Let's say Trevor Rogers is the ace. He won this game. He won opening day. 7 innings pitched, no home runs, 5 Ks. Today he was on the mound against Texas as well. Gave up 2 runs. That was it. 2 of the 3 wins that we have are 3-3 are Trevor Rogers. Trevor Rogers is your ace of the Baltimore Orioles. I see a lot of stuff when I see about Trevor Rogers that it's fluky, that they don't even come out and say it, which is even more annoying. They kind of imply that this guy is not going to be what he was, whatever. Been terrific last year. Terrific so far to start. 2-0 as well. Won this game. Totally shut down the Minnesota Bats. Minnesota's not great offensively. I understand that, but he was outstanding, I thought, as well. 2-1. Orioles win this game, win the opener in Camden Yards. Couple points I want to make about the Orioles here. Next week, we're going to do our first official Orioles report. In more traditional fashion, we talk about the week. Obviously, last night, Jack Eflin, elbow discomfort. He immediately went on DL. Took him off the mound. I don't think we're going to see Eflin for a little while now as well. Albert Suarez just came up as well. I don't know if we talked about it, but I'm going to just bring it up again anyway. Shane Baz contract. Look, big contract for Shane Baz. Look, 5 years. And what was the number? He did struggle in his first start, and I understand that. But 5 years, $68 million. Look, you can't complain that they're not spending money, and then when they spend money, you're going to be mad. So they did spend money here and make a commitment to a starter. So you got to like that. So obviously we like to see start, but we still don't know how good he is, honestly. Pitched in Tampa as well, so we'll see with that. Jackson Holiday, they should be getting back shortly. I think he's already playing in Norfolk, so I think we'll be seeing him shortly, I think this month. Westberg went on the 60-day DL today, so he's not coming back till, I think, June. I don't know if we'll have him at all this year as well. Real quick, one thing, little corny. Shout out to Jim Palmer. I listened to that game, and I'm telling you, this guy, I make the joke all the time. He could probably steal my wife. He's still 80. So I put it in the chat. Like, women were still calling this guy sexy. Like, at 80. Like, no slippage on the mic. Outstanding stuff for him as well. Also, coincidentally, talking about Jim Palmer, shout out to Jerry Sandusky, currently retiring from WBAL and the Ravens play-by-play as well. So shout out to those guys as well. Thank you for joining us here on the Raven Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe. You have a great day.